Alright, what's going on, guys? Try back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video leading up to the second half of The Walking Dead Season 8. In this one, we're going to be giving our thoughts on the title and description for The Walking Dead Season 8's mid-season premiere, Episode 9. It is called Honor. And spoiler warning, of course, as usual, if you are not caught up for The Walking Dead, which is up to the mid-season finale for The Walking Dead Season 8. So we have a couple days and 3 weeks. The return for The Walking Dead, this episode, Episode 9, mid-season premiere is going to air February 25th. So very excited for that. Just a few weeks, basically, at this point, and a couple days. Episode 9, Honor. So we have the title and the description, and then we've got some of your guys' Q&A questions to get into afterwards, some Carl discussion and things like that. I feel like this... break has gone by pretty fast so far, considering we only have a few weeks left, and we'll be right back into the season. There'll be lots of stuff to talk about. I know I haven't been releasing too many videos for you guys this last week or two, just like, 3, 4, 5 a week, that kind of thing for the last little while. Mainly just because of the time of year that it is, and it'll be a little bit. But, of course, as we get closer to the premiere for the second half, we'll be doing lots, probably every day, have new videos for you guys coming up. So, the description for Honor, the name of the episode, Honor, reads, Rick faces new difficulties after a battle. Meanwhile, the fight continues in other communities as core members face hard decisions. So core members face hard decisions really doesn't tell us anything. They always face hard decisions. Every decision they make is always difficult in the series. Like if you look at the Daryl situation with him killing the guy that Rick kind of told that he could leave. All these decisions are hard. These are life or death decisions. Mercy, honor. Do you kill? Do you allow the person to live? Do you take them prisoner? What do you do? And how does this all play out? Everybody kind of has their own kind of answer to the question. Even though for the most part they've mostly been killing, except for the huge group that Maggie brought back, but certainly Daryl has. So we've got Rick facing new difficulties after the battle. I would think mainly that's probably rebuilding Alexandria, or at least putting the fire out and then deciding what they're going to do. I would think they're probably going to have to abandon Alexandria for now, because we're in the middle of all-out war and it's just been absolutely decimated. It would not make sense, I don't think, to try to stay there and defend the place further, or refortify or rebuild. I mean, you can rebuild, but I don't think you can rebuild after that kind of damage, and at this time it's not the right time right now, I don't think, to set up shop there once more. They're probably going to have to leave it. They're probably going to have to abandon it, and most likely they'll have to go to a place that is going to be easier to fortify, like maybe the Hilltop, or even if they had to take the kingdom. I mean, it'd be in better shape right now than how bad Alexandria is. But we'll see. I could be wrong. Maybe they will stay at Alexandria. I just think, with all the damage that's been done to it, the fire everywhere, everything being destroyed, all the houses and just everything, to me, it's like it doesn't make sense to try to rebuild right now during this battle. So I'm expecting them to leave. We have fighting continuing in the other communities. I mean, this one is tricky to say. Which communities? Okay, so you got some stuff going on at the Kingdom. You've got Morgan in there. You've got Ezekiel. You've got Gavin and his group. You have not that much going on at the Hilltop right now because, of course, you have Maggie, who Simon has allowed to kind of go back and just kind of do their own thing. So will Simon and the others kind of try to, I don't know, like go there or something? It's strange. So maybe it'll be, a lot of it will be focused on the Kingdom, and then maybe the rest focused on, Rick and the others, and, of course, Barry and Carl. If that whole thing goes as what we would think that it would, with Carl dying, Rick and Michonne and the others having a burial for him in Alexandria, and then maybe leaving. Maybe you bury Carl, maybe you do that stuff, you put the fire out, and you leave. You realize it's not the right spot to stay at right now during the war, and it's not, going to be... in terms of position, a good place to be at, advantageous to try and defend the place if Negan and the others are to attack again. It's too open, and it's too torn down right now from the previous battle. So that's what I'm thinking we'll probably see based on this description. I mean, meanwhile, the fighting continues. So, I mean, there's other communities as well, too. You have the Junkyard, which we don't know how that's going to be involved here. But we did see in the last stand preview image that you see Rick and the others are kind of fighting from there. So we'll have to see if maybe one of the battles takes place there, if they're going to 100% join with Rick and the others and stay loyal to them. Also tricky, very tricky question. You've got the ocean side, how they fit into this, another tricky question. But I do expect that we'll see some scenes in the first couple episodes from the ocean side, maybe not episode 9, but maybe like 10 or 11, with them deciding what they're going to do. And eventually, I'm predicting that they will decide to join the battle. This time they will decide to kind of go for it, take their shot, and try to take out the Saviors. Because right now, even though Rick and the others were winning handedly early on in the season, I feel like right now the Saviors have pushed back so hard that Rick and the others are kind of the ones that are down right now, and they have to kind of rise back up and then fight in this back half. And eventually, we're hoping, as we would think, the good guys will probably win, and Rick and the others will win at the end of this season. Is what we're, what you would think that how it would turn out. So there is some other stuff in there too, which is I'll link to in the description for you guys, so you can check it out, thewalkingdead.com. That's the official released info for the episode. It does also say in the article, it is difficult to get too excited for the return of The Walking Dead Season 8. While it is always great to get more zombie action, knowing that a huge loss is coming makes it hard to look forward to the mid-season premiere. However, the show must go on with so much new, great information coming along the lines of photos, trailers, and interviews to get excitement levels up for the AMC drama. More great info got passed along today, and then it had the link for all of that. Considering everything that has happened between the Saviors and the survivors from Alexandria, the Kingdom, and the Hilltop, it's difficult to believe there will be honor during all that war. But there is always a chance that circumstances can change the scope of the conflict. Those kinds of circumstances are exactly what is outlined in the synopsis for 809. Since things will stay the same, but will always be changing at the same time. So then it just goes into a little bit more about, what we can think. But it is, they also point out too that, don't forget, it is an extended episode. So it is a longer episode than usual. It's almost like an episode and a half, so that's really cool. And we'll get to see what that looks like. And just, how the episode goes through, probably a very emotional episode, I would think, for Carl fans and for Rick and Michonne. Then we'll get into some of your guys' questions, and you can keep sending them to me, and I'll include them in the videos, as we do them throughout the week up until the premiere. Cyber Sunday 07 says, concussion, no. Carl got knocked unconscious when the house exploded. I mean, for a kid that's been bitten, he sure did stand up pretty fast. Also, in the promo images for 809, Rick and Michonne are carrying him away from the same house. So, it's plausible he is witnessing his life flash before his eyes. So, this kind of idea. So I won't get into this too much because I think it might be a topic for its own video, which is kind of where we can discuss, and focus on that 100% on what we think about the possibility of a fake-out death here for Carl, whether it be him being knocked out, having a concussion, something like this, being knocked back, blown back, damage, hitting his head, something like that, and being in some kind of a dream state, which what we see in the mid-season mid-season finale. And then in the mid-season premiere, they kind of show them, rescuing Carl or bringing him away or something like that from one of the burning houses, and him kind of waking up, realize he's not bitten or something like that. So that kind of idea. Overall, I would hate it if they did. I really would. They did kind of the dumpster thing with Glenn, where he went under the dumpster, and they kind of were able to get 2 deaths out of Glenn. So you have kind of the fake death, which is where it looks like he's eaten alive in that episode, thank you. And then afterwards, they kind of reveal a few episodes later, which was, it was rolled back in pretty nicely, and it was something that, if you look close enough, you could see that he did pull himself under the dumpster. So that was cool that he did survive, but it did piss a lot of people off when they did it, because basically you get the response from everybody because everybody thinks that we just saw Glenn die and Nicholas, and then after that they kind of flip it back and they say, oh no, he was under the dumpster the whole time, so he comes out and he's okay. So it's kind of like you get 2 lives out of Glenn. He dies once there, you get that reaction out of people, and then afterwards in season 7, you give him his final, death, so you kind of get 2 out of him. The whole concept with Carl of maybe him being unconscious, while I do see what you're saying, Cyber Sunday, and other people as well too, I could see it, but it's like, I would hate for them to do it this way, where it's like so definitively shown that he's dead in episode 8 in the mid-season, finale, and then to kind of be like, oh no, it was a dream sequence, or oh no, he was actually knocked out and he was it was all a figment of his imagination or something. What happens afterwards? It would just be, oh man, I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Like, leave a comment below. And like I said, we'll do another video on this one tomorrow or the next day on the Carl is knocked out theory or the Carl is dreaming theory. Because I think it's one that we can get into for a whole video. We can focus on just that and discuss that, just that by itself. But really, just to me, if they did that, man, I would just be like, oh man, that is so, because he was the one who said no more fake out deaths. Like a couple years ago, there was an article where it's like they were not going to do any more fake out deaths like that, like the Glenn situation. So if they did one with Carl, that would be like the ultimate trolling the audience type of deal. And I lose a little bit of trust if they did that. Like it would just be so bad. Granted, we got a new showrunner for season 9 anyway. But I mean, I just think he's dead. That's what I'm going with. But again, we'll touch more on it probably tomorrow or in the next video or next day, and I'll go through the pictures and we'll put this together and see how this could fit, like how it could fit in, where they could do that, and it wouldn't feel like too much of a stretch. I really hope that's not what they're doing, because I remember how upset people got about the Glenn fake-out death, which this one, if they did it here, it'd be even worse than that, I think, because it was so definitively shown, to where it was like, you can't argue it. If they were to kind of go back on that, I'd be like, what? It'd just be nuts, man. Smirking Gun has a Q&A for us. He says, hey, Trev, have you considered, and again, this damn question, have you considered Enid taking Whisper's, Carl's Whisper story arc and Alpha's daughter gender switching to a son? So yeah, again, too, it's another idea I don't like. I'll just leave it there. Those guys who've seen the videos, we've already kind of gone into that a bit, so I won't go into it again. But yeah, I just don't like the idea of Enid becoming like, she's there, she's an okay character, but could I ever consider her to be an A-lister character in The Walking Dead? I don't think so, and I might be wrong on that. It depends how well they do it, but I just don't see that right now. Zach Walker says, so they didn't confirm Carl's death on Talking Dead. Gimple said it will play out the way Bites play out on the show, which means that either way it turns out, that's how Bites will play out on the show from now on. Well, I mean, so, you're right. I mean, It's one of those where it's like, he basically confirmed it, but then again, like, if they didn't do that, like if they went that route, I mean, again, we'll save that for its own video, but he pretty much confirms on Talking Dead, I want to say, that he's bitten by, and it will play out the way other bites have played out, like the Tyrese bite, for example. So, I mean, I get it. You can argue that. You can say, well, he's saying that, but, is that true? And, it's just like one of those. So, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. How are you feeling about this? And would you be okay if they somehow made it out to be a dream or something like this and Carl survives? Just let me know what you think. I mean, he didn't confirm it like 100% that, yes, Carl is dead. He didn't come out and say, Carl is dead. This is Carl's, his last episode is episode 9. He's dead. That's it. So, yeah, we'll see. Kelly Love says, Simon and Jared have to die. So those are his picks for death predictions for the second half, or characters that he thinks should die, should be killed off. Jared, absolutely. He's one I did mention in the death predictions for this half. I did a video on that, by the way, if you guys haven't seen it, which characters I think are going to be killed off in the second half of The Walking Dead Season 8. I left out some of the smaller ones like Jared and some of those, but yeah, he's got to be killed off at some point soon, I would think. Everybody's going to want to see that. Simon, I'm not really mad at Simon. I don't, dislike Simon. I just feel like, it just feels right for them to kill Simon off, I think, and that's why I've mainly been saying that. Damian Coleman says, check out the movie Mayhem if y'all want to see more Stephen Yeun. It's a great movie. So thanks for that add in there, Damian. I haven't seen Mayhem yet. If you guys know, Stephen Yeun is in that. Something to maybe check out, if you have time before the second half starts and you want to see him in a different role. So that'll be pretty cool. I'll probably check it out myself, actually. And if I do, maybe I'll do a review for it for you guys. Across the 85 says, the problem is, out of 16 episodes, you only get like 4 or 5 good ones. So, I mean, you get 4 or 5 ones that I would say are like amazing episodes or really standout episodes. Now, you can say for Season 7 that there was more of that, than some of the prior years where you have the Season 7 premiere that was off the charts, incredible to watch, very devastating. You have the mid-season finale that was okay, and then, in the second half, Season 7... the mid-season or the season finale in Season 7 was good. And I hear what you're saying that, you view it as like there's only like a few good episodes. I would say the way I view it is like, Compared to most TV series, The Walking Dead, most of its episodes are really great. You know, a couple here and there are like amazing or very special. And then every season, I would say there's probably like every half there's at least 1 or 2 episodes. Usually in the first half, it's usually episode like 5 or 6, right? Where it's kind of a slower episode. Or in the second half, it's like episode 10, 11, or 12, somewhere around there. Usually they have a couple episodes to kind of fill out the season and kind of, you know, stretch it to make it fit so that the mid-season finale and the season finale are the big ones, and then the premiere is the big one. So, you know, obviously the premieres are big. The mid-season finale, mid-season premiere, and the finale are supposed to be your big ones. But they don't always follow that. If you look at Season 3, Killer Within, that was a huge episode. And Season 5 had a lot of good ones as well, too. Four Walls and a Roof. You know, Season 6, for me, I mean, it had tons of awesome episodes. So I guess it depends on how you look at it. It depends on what you mean by good. But compared to most series, I mean, I think The Walking Dead is really off the charts with some of the episodes they do. But you can't have those really special episodes all the time. You know, you can only kill off so many characters. You can only have so many big budget things happen in a season. So that's kind of just how it has to be. Anyway, I'll call it here for today's video, guys. I hope you liked it. Let me know what you think about the title and description, Honor, and any of the thoughts on Carl and any other way they could kind of get out of this death thing at this time. Let me know how you feel about that. I'm just like, oh, I really don't see that. If you like this video, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it, and you can do it. You can subscribe at the bottom. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.